Hi guys, so if you guys recall, I hauled recently an order from Tonic that I had placed and picked up some of their new releases, and this is one of them, the Irresistible Cookie Jar Die Set. So I'll have it linked in the description box. That'd be an affiliate link, which means I'll make a small commission if you purchase items to those links, so thank you for using them. This is a new release. They do have a bundle with like some dies that are like oval dies that are really intricate and just gorgeous. I did pick up just the jar set though this time around, and it says it creates a large cookie jar gift box that's 5 by 4 and 4.3 inches, and it kind of reminded me of the crystal container jars, but not quite. Those are a little more ornate, like at the bottom of the base, and I think they open it in a different way. This one has a lid, and the crystal containers, this whole part lifts up, and it has a base, right? So I still want to pick those up whenever they come back, because I really want the hexagon base, but it's out of stock. I think they have it on the UK site, but anyway. So, and if you're in the US, you can order from the UK, so I'm just gonna hold tight and see what happens. This actually, when I first looked at it, I thought, oh, it does an octagon, and I even counted the sides, and I was like, oh yeah, 8, but there's 9, it's a nonagon. Because then I thought, well, you have 3 and 3. I was going to sleep thinking about this, guys, because it's the kind of thing my head just, and then I was like, that can't be right. So I looked, I'm like, oh, okay. So yeah, that's why it's 3, 3. So use 3 of these. It makes 9 sides. 3 of these to the 9, you know, or whatever it is. So I just thought that was kind of funny because I was like, how is that possible? But it does say that the largest die is 5.1 by 4.4. I do try to give that info because I know sometimes people don't have machines that large or whatever it is. But we'll look at the die set too, obviously, and just so you know if it'll fit in your machine. And so let's see here. Funny enough, I think the only big machine I have... Oh, that's not true. Well, the Gemini, which I have sitting over there, I haven't plugged it in since I think I reviewed it, so I've never really used it, and it's like several years old now. And I'm actually thinking about taking it out to the garage, which... I don't know. I just don't use it, and it's literally sitting right there on top of my receipt holder, big old case thing I have. So, I don't know. It's just taking up space. But the Tangerine I use often. That's another large one. And I guess the Empress, you would say, is the large one. I don't know. Yeah, I guess you can classify that. Anyhow, let's see here. Now I'm going to try to do this. Oh, see, this time I think about it. And I just noticed it doesn't have a window. And a lot of times it has a little window, and so the plastic that you're seeing actually stuck to this. And this time I was careful about it. I was like, oh, I'm going to get that plastic. And it's not on this set because it doesn't need to be. Finally, where I remember not to tear it off like I always do. Okay, so cute, you guys. So if this is the largest, I mean, it's not that big. So again, I'm not going to measure it since they have it on here. 5.1 inches, so just over 5 inches by just over almost 4.5 inches. Look at that. And then, so of course, we're just going to put 3 of those together. Boom, boom, boom. You have your base. You have the top. So this is what's really cute, and I just realized it right now because I didn't even notice that they had different lids. This same kit will do this vaulted lid for you, and it'll do the flat lid, which I was thinking about just doing the flat one today. So maybe I'll do the flat one, but with this piece, so that way you can see what that's like. And then this is just an addition of, you know, it's this guy. And then, actually this is the lid, sorry. It's this piece, and you again cut 3 of them, line them up around with this guy, you know, your base piece or whatever it is, and then go from there, the same kind of little topper. So I'll do the topper for funsies today. So as you can see, it has the inlays that say something special, just for you, just a beautiful kind of pattern. And on the side here we have I guess what echoes kind of that pattern if it ends up here, and then some other pretty pieces. And these are not inlays, these are like little pieces that you would then lay on top, it looks like. And then this is the portion if you want, like here where they have it blue and black, right, or grayish color. So the blue is cut from this, and then the grayish one is cut from this, which is nice because that just throw it through instead of, you know, taping them together. So that's a nice way of doing that. And then as I'm looking at it, we have these pieces. I'm wondering if this one goes with this, just because it's a little bit thinner. I don't know if you can see, it's just a little bit, or at least in my opinion it is. Or maybe it has to be double-sided for this part to work later. I don't know, but I think that's what it is. Because on this one, you just end it off. Anyhow, I'm sure it talks about it all in here, but let's just keep looking at these dies. This is the portion for the vaulted lid, and then it has also its pieces that you can die cut. They're not inlays, so that's really nice, and then it has that layer to go behind it if you want. And then this little guy has tons of different ways of using or decorating it. They're all different. And then these pieces here, and then these are the background pieces for those if you want that one and that one. The cute little, this is really what I wanted to do today, but I think I'll do the little lid to show you that, or the knob. But look how cute, and then the little inlay, it's very like Nordic. I don't know, something about it just reminds me, just super cute. And then, I mean, look at this. Now this would be pretty just for like cards or even the panels, right? Oh, you know what? I didn't realize or mention. These are also inlays, so it has a outline die. And then the inlay, and this outline has like a little cuteness to it with little dots with a little ruffled edge there. And then this one is kind of like wavy. And then that's the inlay, and of course you can mix and match those however you like. So with this one we have this outer die that cuts the whole mat with the little dotting. And then there's this one that's just a plain nonagon. And then we have this one that's an inlay that's really pretty. And then this one just cuts the matte layer, and then this one's like an insert or inlay. Oh, and then we have a tag down here that says enjoy. How cute, because of the cookie jar thing. Okay. And on the inside they're giving you the instructions. So let me see why there's a double one and a single one. Glue the inside tabs around edges, top lid shape. Okay, that's the lid. Oh, okay. That makes sense. Yeah. Okay. So I was just trying to see, like, why is there some that has a double this part, or like this guy? Okay, but we'll get to it when we get to it. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. We'll just get to this part when we get there. So this is about the raised lid. If you're going to do that little raised, I call it vaulted, but they're showing you a little bit different there. But this is the one we're going to do the flat lid, and then we're going to use the knob. And I just realized on here, I don't think they talk about making the knob, but it's probably because it's pretty straightforward. It's the one piece, so I don't think you're going to do two of these. As you can see, it just kind of comes together, and it's going to have 5 sides, and then you're just going to pop it on. So yeah, that's why I have the instruction for that. So what I'm going to do, and then we need 4 of the largest guy. So we need 4 of this for sure. And then everything else is just decorating, you guys. Super easy. 4 of that way. I'm trying to see 3 and 3. I'm trying to see if I need all 3 and 3. It appears so. So this guy and this guy, I'm going to choose some papers and I'll be right back. So the instruction in this is literally just for the lids. And then what's funny, oh, that's not there, it's over here. It doesn't mention anything about the base, because basically you're just going to attach them, but well, I shouldn't say it doesn't mention anything about the base. It does. At the very bottom, complete your box by adhering each side panel to its adjacent side panel, and again to your final base 9-sided die cut, which is this thing. So, you know, it's pretty basic here. And so what I'm going to do is also cut those pieces. So just because it wasn't like explained, you still need these, obviously, the side panels for the box itself, of the jar. So I'm going to use this really extra heavyweight cardstock. It's from Hobby Lobby, so like 300 GSM cardstock. And I'm going to cut 3 of these. I'm going to cut out 4 of these. Also, although you will need a 5th one that's going to make like a frame, but we'll do that later. So cut the 4 right now that they're asking you for. So 4 of those, and then 3 of each of these. And I don't know why I'm separating out on paper. They're all the same, but I always try to maximize whatever I'm doing. So like, let's say these guys will fit here. Not much will fit here other than maybe these guys, right? So I'll put those together, and then maybe I can get another one of this guy here. Keep going. You know, however it is I need to do it. So I will be. So I'd like to tell you about how much that took. These are A2 size papers, so 8.5 by 11, and it took all of 2 papers. Yeah, if I have a little left over here and there, you know, and then a 3rd one for that last piece. At least the way I did it. But we are going to need again another nonagon shape, like a little frame that we're going to use in a little bit. So I'll put this on my big magnetic holder so I don't misplace these things. I'm not gonna do that again. Well, I might, but I don't want to, so I have this thing here. Alright. So right now we're gonna put these to the side because apparently this is gonna be quick, and actually one of these. So we have that and a base nonagon. And just checking something. Okay. What I'm gonna do with these guys is go ahead and just put them together. So just whenever you have these things, you know, your score lines. And they always make their dies so pretty. Like, I don't know if you can see, they already have an embossed look. So, I mean, it's already nice looking. If you just want to leave that. And so I'm going to take all these, score them up. Same thing with this guy. Just score other side. And I never really use a scoring tool, but if you would like to do that, get a more of a crisp edge, then go for it. But I'm going to do this with all of them, and then we're just going to glue these together and then start putting them onto our bases, or lids. Okay, I'll be right back. So I have those all folded up, and you know, they are showing, which actually makes a lot of sense on number 2, is to go ahead and glue these guys together. Let me find a glue. And they're not using this one quite yet, they're using this. And go ahead and glue them together, but they didn't glue them completely into a nonagon shape until after you place them on there, which is very smart. So what I'm going to do is take this, and I'll clean that off in a second. So we're using these guys first, and I always just kind of line them up. I look on the outside, make sure it's a nice junction. I gotta redo my nails, girls. They are a little chipped. Okay, and then one more. I'm going to take that little piece of stuff off. There we go. And then in the image, they're showing it just open like this, so you can work it around. So this time I'm looking out here, just to make sure I have that nice junction. And it says glue the lid side tabs around the edges over the top of your lid shape, attaching them together as you go, I guess. It just ended off with as you. So even at that, I don't even know that they're putting it completely together, but I'm gonna do this. We'll talk about that in a minute. Okay. So, I'm gonna turn this upside down like this, so the back side, like this is the nice side where the die made a nice cut. This way, I don't even know if this is gonna end up showing, because to be honest, we're gonna cover it up again underneath, so I don't think it matters. But what we can do is, I think I'm gonna put glue on this and go around that way, because I think that'd be easier for me. So I'm just gonna put glue here until I think it's manageable. So I'm gonna take this guy and I'm gonna glue it down. And then go here, maybe hold that onto that one for a second. And just until it sets up. And this is going to be a little bit boring for you guys, so I'm just going to show you what I mean. Like, I'll hold on to this until that is set. So you're going underneath. If you want to put the glue on the tabs, you put the glue under the tab, right? And then when that one's ready to go, kind of go over here. Hold that guy down, maybe this one. And that's just because I'm getting ahead of myself. If you like using clippies, then put some clippies. But I'm just going to keep going around as you see, right? I'm not, well, if I let it go right now, it's probably going to let go, but I'll just keep going tab by tab, holding it down. And if you put the glue on the underside of the tab, then you can actually just lay it down like this, I suppose, however you want. Okay, but I'll be back. Real quick, I want to show you what I end up doing, just because I like, there's a scrap piece of paper, and all I did was turn it over. And now I'm going to press from here, because I put all that glue. Obviously, if I didn't put glue all over, I could just put it down, but that makes it a lot easier. And then I have these last 3 to deal with. So again, I'm putting the glue on the paper, but you can put it on the tabs. I'll be a little more careful this time because of what I changed up. Go like this, go like this, go like this, and then just turn it over. And get that going. Then we'll get this guy together in just a minute. Like that, and I'll push down on these. Actually, while I'm pushing down on those, I'll go ahead and finish off this glue tab. So just put that last piece of glue. Now if you want to make it just a nonagon shape first, it would be harder to kind of navigate this piece of paper inside of it. That's why you just kind of leave it open, okay? So I'm just going to make sure everything's where I like, and I'll be back. While I'm doing this, I'm going to go ahead and move on. Step 3 says now cover these tabs by adding another nonagon on top. So I'm just going to put glue right up to the edge so we can finish this off and look pretty. I'll put some glue all around here. And whatever that is, get rid of that. Take another one of these guys and just pop it on top. And it already feels super sturdy and awesome because again we used, well at least I did, 300 GSM paper. But if you don't, all these layers really make things build up, feel really nice and sturdy. So, alright, we have that guy. Now this part's interesting because we're going to cut a little hole. I'm not sure why, but I guess it's just there to help you glue this in. So let me wait for this to set up a little bit and we'll move on to step 4. Okay, I'm going to put this to the side. I just turned it over to push from the back side. And step 4 says to cut a hole in the center of this one. Now this is going to be visible, I believe, from the bottom. Kind of. Well, yeah, it is. But then you're going to cut another ring. And I think that's just, yeah, I see why. So another little decorative piece. Okay, so this guy, it says to take this and to cut the, use the smallest 9-sided die to cut a hole in this guy. And it says to do that and to center it, what you should do is bring all these pieces with you, right? So like, go ahead and bring these guys and maybe the original die. But I don't know that we need all this because it's not really going to make a huge difference. But let's say we place that on there. And then place all these. Just so you have a better idea where the center is. So if I was going to do this and not just following the directions, this is the first time I've done it, I follow the directions for the most part. I would have just done this initially when I went to cut it the first time because I would have run them through together, right? I would have done this one plus the other guy at the same time. I just want to make sure I'm a little bit centered. Something like that. I don't think it matters really how centered it is because when I look at it, it's just literally to cut a hole. It's not going to do anything functional later. So, and then remove these, basically is what they're saying, so that you're, you know what I'm saying, you're going to have it nice and ready to go, but I feel like it's a little bit off, so I'm going to push it this way. You know what I'm saying, now that I see it, I feel like it's a little, I'm just lining up this point with there. But the reason I'm saying not to worry too much is because it really doesn't do anything. If it's crooked, it's not going to affect anything. So I will run this through, and I'll be right back. So I'm going to peel this off. And basically you're looking at aesthetics at this point when you're like trying to center it. But you don't really have to. And then we're going to bring this over, and then we're going to sit this on here. Okay, so that's all it's for, and it's basically to help you kind of stick the glue tabs down. And what I do when I do something like this, I'll bring the glue tabs up so that they're kind of pushing into the paper when I bring the paper to sit on top of it, right? And that kind of helps already. If they were pushed all the way down, then it'd be harder for them to make contact. So I bring them up a little bit, and I guess this is step 5. Is that what we're on? Excuse me. Let me see. Yeah, step 5. And I'm still going to put the pretty side facing because it's the bottom of the lid. But, you know, you're still going to cover this up again anyway. So, and I can feel those little tabs kind of pushing up into my paper because I let them sit up, right? And then a little tip there. It says to let the little hole help you out. Like if you want to put your fingers in here to push up, to do that. Okay, so that's just a little tip, and I'm thinking that's pretty much why that hole is there. Otherwise, it doesn't really do much. But since I kind of pulled up the tabs, that's really what's helping me. I can feel that it's like holding on. Okay, I'm gonna let that set up, and that is a really hefty lid. And then we're gonna put these guys around here. Okay, but we'll do that in just a minute. It's actually pretty cool because I can see in there that, I mean, if I was to touch it, they're held on because I pulled them up. So just, that's a nice, really good tip. And I do that a lot of times whenever I have something that's kind of tricky to glue together. I'm gonna go turn off my alarm. I'll be right back. Okay, guys. Before we move on to putting these on, the way we're gonna know where to put this, because if you just put it willy-nilly, I mean, it'll be okay, but it's not gonna, you might have it kind of wonky. What we're gonna do is cut one more nonagon. Again, this is kind of what it looks like before we had it. You know, I took it out. What you're going to do is take the largest one with the little decoration and then the next guy. And we're going to layer these together and run this through. So, you know, just put them together. And basically that's going to give you a guide of where to glue in this piece. And I just want to make sure we're good here. Okay. Ah, of course. Usually I have tape that's ready to go and I can just take it off. We're going to tape those down so they do not move. I don't want that moving in the machine because that would be a disaster. And I'll be right back. Okay. I don't know why I left my die cut piece back here, but I left it behind me over here. Alright. So it makes this little delicate frame, and now we're going to adhere this to this, and that again is going to be your guide for when you put these guys in. So I'm just going to glue this on, guys. So I'll put glue on the back of this whole thing and get that down. Put a good amount of glue. I don't want this to move later. Such an interesting shape because, you know, you're just following along, but at the same time, I'm used to like an octagon shape or something, or a hexagon, so I'm like, oh yeah. So it's not quite like when you go to put it on your paper. It's just an interesting shape, that's all. Alright, let's put that down. I'm gonna let that set up, and in the meantime, I'll glue these guys together, okay? So just glue this to this, and this to this, and I'll be right back. This is the last step that they're depicting, and then after that it's just to put these sides together and then adhere them to the base. So that's fine. What I'm going to do is, in the picture they do have it completely closed up. I just put the glue on that one. So I'm going to go ahead and put some glue here and adhere it into our nonagon shape and hold on to that till it sets up. And then we're going to pop it in here on top of, right inside that little guide that we just created. Okay, so I'm going to close up just a little bit. And I'm going to get this shape kind of in the shape that you're looking for, just a little bit. Again, put your glue tabs a little bit out. This time not too much because you don't want them fighting against you, but you do want them to make contact. And I'm going to put glue on all of it. So if you're using liner tape, of course you just line it all out. I'm going to put too much, although I am putting it because I'm going to be able to kind of manipulate it a little bit. And let's try to get that shape again. So maybe I'll start here. Oh, it's hard for me to do on camera because I want to see it too, but we're going to butt that up right against that line. And this one. So hopefully I'm getting those at least. I'm not really letting these other ones touch quite yet, so that I can get a good contact here. I'm going to push that in there. How cute! I love when things just like fit so nicely. That one's going. And I'm just, again, being aware of the lines here. I'm going to start going for this side now. I'm just kind of placing my hand on here to keep it all together. Looks like there's a little bit of difference. We need to split, so it's right inside that line. And once I'm happy with how it looks, I'm just going to hold on to it. So let me push that one that way. Look on this side now. I'm going to bring this over just a little bit. So it's just inside this line. That's what I'm trying to see, like to let you guys know about where you're placing it. And so I just want you to see that it's like just inside the line. Do you see that? Not right up to the line, but just inside there. Okay. And I think that would be the best placement. Okay, I'm gonna let that set up. And our lid is formidable and done. I mean, look at that, it's chunky. All right, I'll be back. While that's setting up, let me see how close I am here. I'm gonna go ahead and score all these guys, and I probably should have scored the other two off camera because I could have just gone right to it. But we're gonna score these guys up. This is obviously going to go in. Again, if you guys like bone folding to make them nice and crisp, please do. And then I'm just going to glue these together. Nothing too technical, as you see, the glue tabs. Let me get that going. So all the score lines. And I'm going to glue this one to this one, right? Hold on to it just like I always do. And then I'll take this one and glue it to this glue tab, and I'll come back to the final one, okay? And we're here, and this is a really nice size box. I don't know if you can see. I mean, that's sizable. Okay, so I put those other two glue tabs, and I always just put glue right to the very edge pretty much, and then when I bring this in, I kind of zhuzh it a little bit whenever I meet up ends, so that the glue kind of spreads out. And as I'm looking at this, I'm looking at right edge to edge, left to right, you know, and then trying to feel and make sure it's not like a huge ridge right here. I can push my finger in there and kind of push it out a little bit so it's lined up where I want. And I'm just pushing down on the glue tab. Sorry, I put my hand on the inside. Forgot I closed up and I haven't moved back yet. Okay, I'm gonna let that really set up before I try to put it on the base, which we had from earlier, right? We had cut the 4. Basically, we're just gonna glue this onto this, okay? I'll be right back. So I backed up just a little bit. You know what? Well, I was gonna say maybe, because I was just gonna glue this on here. And I think the best way, instead of doing it like this and trying to see, make sure everything's good, is to do it this way. And that way you can manipulate this, you know, and squeeze it and all that. Okay, sorry, I was just looking at this, and when I noticed, I'm like, this is too big for this, I think. So they said to glue this to your final base 9 die cut. Again, I haven't done this before. I didn't know how it was supposed to fit together. I think you're supposed to cut another one, which actually, it might be this one. Remember when we cut that little frame and we use these two? I hope it's this one, because otherwise this one's too big. So let's see what's going on here. And it says at the end to fit to your final base 9 die cut, which this is too big. So I could have used this earlier probably for this other part, the frame. But what I was thinking is, instead of trying to get it going, and if it's a little bit wonky, is to put it in here first. And I think the lid goes inside. So what I'm going to do is put it on here to help us keep the shape right. Does that make sense? Hopefully that makes sense. So let me just pop that on there. And of course I went too low on that side, so I can't. So now that's giving us a better shape, right? Because we already have it on here. How cute. And see, I didn't want to do the reveal till at the end. But yeah, this is just a little big. So I'm assuming it's this one. Let's see. Which is the one right inside, right? Yeah, because I wasn't sure how this is going to go. Yep. Okay, perfect. So the instructions are a little bit off in that, but you're basically using this piece from that last one that we did. And good thing I never throw things out. And it was still stuck to my paper. I hadn't even put that away yet. Okay. I was even like, oh, is this supposed to stick out maybe? Like a base? But no, it's just isn't super clear on that one. It just says your final base 9, which would have been this one, but that's okay. Alright, and again, let me stick these out just a little bit. And with this one, once I have it set up a little bit, what I'll do is I'll take the lid off, and then I'll readjust a little bit. So, hold on. Kind of paying attention here to all these little guys. So I did this side pretty good. I have these 4 on. This 4 or 5, I guess. 1, 2, 3, 4. And as I go around, I'll kind of mess with the shape. Like this one needs to come out a little bit. And all I did was stick my finger in there with my nail and pulled it out. And that looks pretty good. Maybe go a little bit more that way. Maybe bring this one out just a little bit. Catch it. And then this is the one I haven't really quite touched. I'll just push it in a little bit because I can see that it was kind of sticking out too much, so I pushed it in. I'm gonna let this catch a little bit. Look at that. Looks pretty good, guys. So I'm gonna let this sit for just a minute, and I'm gonna take it off. Just push it down like this. That was a good tip, putting it on this, because again, it's just a different shape, so you have more sides to work with. And I'm going to open it up, and then I can stick my hand in here and just make sure those tabs are really pushed in, and I don't have to stick my whole hand in there. I can use a tool just making sure those tabs are on there. Now, if you want to finish off in the inside and cut yourself another one, especially since I have this extra one, I could just use this to cut another one and then lay it down in there to make it look a little more finished. You know, you can definitely do that. But I think I'm good. Okay, guys, and I always decorate afterwards. You could have already decorated your panels if that's what you wanted to do. But look at that. Now let me show you how big the receptacle part of it is. Again, a nonagon. So from here to, I don't know, the point is 3 3/4 inches. And It is the actual where you can put things in, not counting the lid. It is 4 3/4 about. And then the total height is almost 5.5 inches tall. And I mean the width, well, we kind of did that, so I don't know what else I could, yeah, that's it. That is so cute. Okay, all right, well, let's make the little nub for the top. Put these guys to the side for a minute. And basically it looks like I'm just cutting that one piece one time, I'm assuming. So let me get this guy. But otherwise you can still obviously decorate it. You have all these inlays, or, you know, matte layers and inlays you can decorate this whole top with, which we will do anyway. But for this guy, I'm just going to run it through. It actually fits in here if I wanted to just use that paper. But I'm just going to run it through the same beige, you know, cream colored paper, and I'll be right back. So they're not giving us the instruction on this one, but if you're used to making boxes or anything, I'm just folding this all along the score lines. So every score line, pretty sure these are all going to be facing in by the time we're done. So, and I'm getting it ready because basically we're not ready to glue this down because I want to do some decorating on the jar. And I'm probably just going to use the outer dies, guys, and make it you know, a little bit quicker. So I want to use like maybe some shabby chic paper, kind of like this little guy. What I ended up with this. How cute. The Sunday special finally sold out, but maybe they'll bring back another bundle like that. Well, it sold out on the US site. I think it's still available on the UK site. So I'm just scoring it. Again, if you want to use your bone folder and get your nice scores. This one does have a lot of scoring, so we're going to do something like that. And then these guys come in like this. So let's go ahead and do that. And if you like to decorate first, you know, put all your little decorations on there. You know what? Actually, I'm just going to use this other glue for a minute. So the Bear Arts glue, it's a little bit thinner, at least mine is now, and it takes a little bit longer to set up, but that's okay. So I'm going to do that one first. We got this cool guy shape. And once that holds on, again, all these little tabs, and then you're going to be left with these tabs at the bottom. Hopefully you can kind of see. So we have this guy. Again, I kind of put the glue and rub a little bit so the glue spreads out. Look how cute already, just like pop. I know. My camera washes it out. I'll try to get a little bit closer. Sometimes when I get closer, it just, the camera reads it better for some reason. Things that are really pale in color or shiny. Okay. So I'm going to keep doing that. I put glue on this tab. We're not putting any glue on these bottom tabs yet. And I'll show you when I get to the end, because I have a feeling that one's going to be a little bit trickier since it's going to be like a very tight little area. So I'll be right back. Okay, sorry, let's see. Okay, here we are. So as you can see, it gets a little bit tighter, and then we need these last two tabs to get in there. So what I'm going to do is bend these tabs back to get them out of my way. It's just paper, you can do whatever you want. This is the last one I just worked with. It's a little bit wet. And I'm going to put glue here and glue here. Bend this one back too, and bring that up and into here. And now that all those little tab pieces are out of my way, it's very easy because it's a nice big area. So I can hold on to this, let that set up. How cute. I mean, look at that. It just boop, pops up. Super cute. And then this guy. Really easy. That's probably why they don't have the instruction, because that's pretty easy on that one. And then, you know, it does have the instruction on the other side for the dome, which is basically just adding in that dome when you go to make the lid. It's not difficult. Again, it's just the tabs in a circular fashion. I don't know if these are ready, but if they are, okay. So I'm going to push these back in. Again, not too much, because when I put the glue, I want it to have that resistance that's pushing into my paper. Oh my gosh, that is so cute already. Look at it. Okay. So I'm going to choose some pretty paper, and then I'm going to just cut these pieces. I'm going to put everything back on here too, so I don't start misplacing stuff. Again, I put on my magnetic mat, but get it back home as soon as I can. So we have these papers, and you know, like this one has like the little scallop, just a straight edge, and this one has kind of a little fun like root. So of course, you know, I think I'm gonna go for the scallop. So that will be for these guys, so that means we need 9 of them. I'll just cut 9 from some pretty paper. And I would kind of keep going with that, so let me see as far as what we need. Oh, we need some prettiness, so we'll do that part later. For right now, I'm just gonna get that. Again, we have side pieces if you want to do that. I suppose I will, why not? So I'm just gonna do these again with pretty paper. What do we have? And then we have the pieces that need to go on here, which again, we have pieces here if you just want to do pretty paper. Maybe what I'll do for the little knob part is do like gold paper like I did on here. I did an accent of gold and it looked really pretty. So, and again, we don't have to inlay them. They're just ready to go, which is really great. I'll just pick one. I think I'll just keep the same, like these two. I don't know if they're lined. I think they're lined up in a way that they make sense, like together. Like this one has little. Oh, look at the little. Okay, let's do this one. It has really tiny little flowers built in. So cute. So I'll do this one and this one. Of course, of these we need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 5 of each of these guys. 9 of this and 9 of this, and then we'll decorate the top in a minute. So I'll be right back. One. I cannot believe I just opened that book or that cardstock up, and this little column, I was like, oh, that works perfect. Like just the columns, the way the flowers are like this and like vines. How cute. So I just have one more to cut, and then I will adhere these, and then we'll go from there. Okay guys, so I'm just going to take some time to glue these on. So just center them, you know, in each column here, just glue them on. And then same thing with these little guys. I'm going to go around all these little areas and glue them on in this whole top part. And I think what I'm going to do is like a gold inlay piece here and then add the gold pieces to this guy. And so that'll just be the accent on the top, where everything else is kind of different on the sides here. Okay, I'll work on this before the kids wake up. I think I'm going to cut these guys out. Actually, the kids are already awake. I'm trying to think if I want to just do this out of gold paper. And it's going to be all gold right here, you know what I'm saying? Which is kind of interesting. I might then take this one and cut it from the same blue paper so it layers over that. And then my little gold pieces that we talked about earlier for our little knob, right? So I might do that. I don't know if I'll use the blue paper or not, but either way, I will use this inlay plus this guy to cut out some gold paper. And we could use this one with the inlay. It's a lot of white or cream colored space, so I do want to take that up. So I will probably do this larger one, but I'll do that too when I come back. Okay, so I have my little pieces here for this guy, and again, I'm just going to pop these on. And I just did the gold with the little piece, no background on those, so I'm just going to pop these on here. Have that little flower decoration. So cute. I just kind of eyeball them and try to straighten them out as much as I can before they set up. Something like that. And same thing for these guys. Just place them, oops, down here like this. All around, okay? While I'm working on this, I'm going to go ahead and put this guy on here. That way I can put something on it to give it, what's the word? Like some weight on top of it. And I'm going to put a little glue right in the center here. And as much as I can, actually I'm going to put it on my hand. Because I do want to pat down that glue I just placed. again, when you're using wet glues and like this gold paper, you want to place it a little bit strategically. If you put a lot of glue, sometimes it'll seep through the other side and you can see it. So I try to be take a little care when I do that. And I'm trying to see about where I need to place this before I really push it down. That looks good. And now it's still on the whole container, but I'm going to smooth this down, then I'm going to place like a weight on top of it just to hold it down, okay, while I continue doing this other part. Okay, I'm just finishing up holding that last one. Put that down a little bit better. So cute. Every little bit that you add is just cuter and cuter. Okay, and this is my workaround here. I put my whole Spellbinders machine thing on there, and then I put a heavy tool on top, and I think that did the job. And like I said, I was gonna cut a little blue, but then, you know, it does have the vining, and I'm like, well, that means it has like a direction, so I'd rather just use this. And I'm just gonna pop it on here. Now this is 5-sided where the other thing is 9-sided, so you're just gonna put it wherever you're happy. And so again, these are kind of out a little bit. I don't want to push it against me too much, but I do want to make sure that they're making contact, and I probably should use Nuvo Deluxe. But again, I'm putting this on a slick surface, so I'm gonna have to hold it for a minute and just making sure that's on there. There's plenty of glue. And I'm gonna bring this closer to me so I can see what I'm doing, but I'll bring it back to you guys. Honestly, you're just gonna pop it in the center because, again, it's 5-sided while the other thing is 9-sided. So I'm kind of pointing it to that one, but I'm just thinking that that's about center. And I'm gonna hold this down, guys, because you know, I guess that's the other reason maybe they left this hole here, because you can push against here. Right? Because you're literally just pushing right against those little bits. So I'm going to hold this for a little bit, and I'll be right back. We're done. Okay, guys, so I'm going to pop this in here. I am not going to dare use the knob yet because I'm sure it's still wet enough where it's going to pop off. But look at that. It's super simple with some pretty papers and then just, you know, that little accent on top. Again, later I can pull it up. You can see as it's going, but I'm not going to completely pull that open. And just really lovely. I think I'm going to cut, or at least not cut it. Well, from this one, cut the other kind of base size one, the second largest die, and pop it in here just to finish off the tabs on the inside. But other than that, really sweet project. I mean, it works up really fast. So I'll have some images for you guys and links in the description box, and I'll see you guys at the next one. Okay, bye now.